Gentlemen, your trunks are high. From here up is good. Pantalones tan alto. Aquí arriba está bien. When I set out dos, good luck to both of you. Touch them up. Over la mano.
Immediately evident Corrales' size advantage. Freitas' take, not a problem. One of the best counter punchers in the business. Acelino Freitas told us he will exploit Diego Corrales with lateral movement using his foot speed. Popo is generally a fast starter. Chico has had difficulty with guys who move around a lot, like Mayweather and Casamayor, but he made the adjustments in the second Casamayor fight. A combination of two-fisted power, a leaky defense, questionable chin, and a terrific heart. A formula for fireworks. Won't be a surprise if both go down. This could be a tremendous fight.
You know, it's important to note that Freitas is coming in off a 7-month layoff, his second longest of his career. And for Corrales, this is the first right-hander he has fought in over a year. He fought Damian Fuller, then Joel Casamayor twice in a row, so he's seeing something he hasn't seen for a while.
Some nice left hooks there by Acelino Freitas. Another left hook. A major curiosity, what will happen if both Freitas and Corrales stand toe-to-toe and trade their best shots? We may see a double knockdown.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's happening here in round one. While it's true Freitas is moving, both men are sustaining the action. Somebody's going to get hit with a big shot soon.
And Freitas, very aggressive, with a left-right combination upstairs. And Freitas using a lot of side-to-side, a lot of lateral movement to try and confuse Diego Corrales. Chico's trainer Joe Gluson felt that Freitas would be on his bicycle. Corrales said he wasn't so sure. But Chico, who's probably had the better level of competition, told us it would be a mistake for Freitas to come to war, feeling that he, Corrales, hits harder.
One thing that's happening early in this fight is Freitas is throwing a lot of left hooks, some very wide. That could be a very dangerous tactic for him as this fight goes on. He could easily be countered by Corrales.
And more recently, Freitas has become very awkward, herky-jerky, and unorthodox, which Corrales says he is ready for. Corrales looking to cut off the ring, use his jab and his hooks. And there's that side-to-side, frequently used by Freitas. Freitas walked into one, and then a left hook to the neck, but not much behind it. Freitas looking the better of the two here in the opening round thus far.
A little low.
There's a body shot with the left hand by Freitas. Freitas scoring more regularly. As mentioned, Corrales' punches might have a little more sizzle to them right here.
Corrales has not got, he established his jab very well against Casamayor. And there you see it. If he uses that punch a little bit more, it'll help him find the range with the hooks and the straight right hand. But Freitas' movement, of course, is an issue in that regard.
Of course, Corrales' signature punch is the left hook. Very good right hand as well. And for Freitas, it's the right hand. And he just nailed Corrales with the right as they trade at the bell. Interesting first round.
Why was it beautiful? Tested him a little bit. The belt is powers. You got any power? Okay. That doesn't mean you get lazy with your defense. Okay. Start banging that jab. Start trying to find that a little bit when you know he's going to come over it. When you get into a little slugfest with him there, do what you did. Come up the middle, keep that chin tucked. No sucker punches on you because your chin is tucked. Okay, you hurt him twice that round. You know that, don't you?
Acelino Freitas against the ropes. Now, he wants very much to land those counter right hands, and he landed a couple of them, despite the fact that he was wild with the punch. They did get in. That's what Freitas wants to land.
Acelino Freitas has 19 knockouts within 2 rounds. Remember, he knocked out his first 29 opponents. Round 2 scheduled for 12 of the WBO Lightweight Championship. Long-awaited showdown between Acelino Freitas and Chico Corrales. Big right hand by Freitas. to the chin.
You know, that's something that's got to be a little alarming to the Corrales people. Earlier, before the right you just referenced, there was another one that landed by Freitas. I don't think they anticipated he could land those rights with that kind of regularity against Corrales.
Now Corrales moving in, stalking, but Freitas tying him up. Freitas very elusive. Every once in a while does get nailed. But he has been landing more. Left hand that got through by Acelino Freitas. A long left. Almost a 5-inch height advantage for Corrales. Big right hand by Freitas and a countering right by Corrales. But I think Freitas got the better. Corrales going to the jab now. Couple of lefts again by Acelino Freitas.
You know, Freitas is getting away early in this match with those wild, wide left hooks. Whether that'll continue remains to be seen, but as long as he gets away with it, he'll throw it. You know, we've seen many fights before where those unorthodox punches, Steve, don't get countered by people.
Again, a series of wide shots, but we'll see if Corrales can counter with a straight right hand. Corrales unleashes a nice left hook to the jaw.
Best punch of the fight for Corrales, by far. He's getting the whole package of the unorthodox Acelino Freitas in his first 2 rounds, and it's a loadful to handle, and Corrales is having a little bit of a hard time landing those punches, although he's had a better second round.
Yeah, it may be a relief, as you said, for Chico not to be facing a southpaw, but he does have a load in front of him here at Freitas. Freitas with a smacking left upstairs. That left has really found a home here in the first 2 rounds.
Very close second round, though. This will be one of those that if this goes the distance, we'll look back on this round, and it could be pivotal in a certain way.
The elusive Acelino Freitas slipping punches. Oh, hard left on the inside by Diego Corrales. That certainly got Freitas' attention. Freitas still dancing around. As Corrales' trainer, Joe Goosen, had to predict it. Now Freitas digging to the body. Freitas really up on his toes. Corrales more flat-footed.
Time.
Our translator is out of Montes, translating the Portuguese spoken in the corner.
Vamos a buscar un poquito más de concentración.
You need to give more concentration.
Vamos a concentrar un poquillo más con el golpe al pecho.
We want to concentrate a little more with the punch on the chest.
Acelino Freitas was able to get this lead right hand in, and he's, well, actually followed a jab, and that's the kind of rights that he landed pretty well early. But the left hook of Corrales, a very important weapon for him. There's a nice, short, compact one. Maybe his best punch of the fight.
Ya sabes, maestro quiere ser.
It is round 3 scheduled for 12 for the WBO Lightweight Championship. Acelino Freitas in the gold trunks with the red trim. Nice combination to the head by Freitas. Corrales in the white with the black trim. Freitas 35-0 with 31 knockouts. Corrales 38-2 with 31 knockouts. The Brazilian and the Freitas fans chanting Acelino's name. Popo, his nickname.
I'm sure Chico Corrales didn't expect the crowd to be this partisan on behalf of Freitas. Obviously, Brazilians come out from whatever community Freitas fights in, and right now they're very much on his side.
There is a heavy population of Brazilians in the Boston area, which is not far from Foxwoods. And when Freitas fights, always a strong contingent of Brazilian fans on hand, and they always drown out the competition.
Corrales landed a very nice straight right hand a moment ago. Now, one thing we've seen from Freitas, and this speaks to what Joe Goosen suggested, he said he'd test his power early, test Corrales' power early, then move. One of the things that's happening now, though, is Freitas is moving well, but not landing that many punches, as he was in the first round and a half.
Freitas doesn't want to fight going backwards. Usually successful when he steps in and lands his power shots. The right hand. Corrales can fight going in either direction. He's had success. Of course, the key for Chico when he attacks, got to remember the defense, particularly versus someone with Freitas' power. Again, so much movement by Acelino Freitas. Moves to the left, moves to the right. Never in one place. Right hand to the chest area by Freitas.
That was an excellent right hand, and I think that momentarily stunned Diego Corrales, had an impact on him. The hand speed of Freitas right now, better, I think, than Chico Corrales expected.
And the foot speed as well. That's what's really doing a number on Corrales here. Freitas looking so confident. Can Freitas sustain this over the course of 12 rounds? There's a lot of energy being expended, both in movement and punching. And it's a very, very active performance. Certainly more active, for instance, than we saw against Gregorian the last time he appeared on Showtime. Freitas fueled by emotion, fueled by the fans. This with the right hand, bouncing off the ropes. There's a left-right combination, an answer with the right hand by Chico Corrales upstairs. But Freitas eluded that last series of attempts by Corrales.
Stay inside the shoulder. You got to put a little bit more up and down pressure. You got to get a little bit cuter on him. You know what I mean? Because he's going to keep running like that. So you got to start forcing him. Okay, but force smart. Don't run in at him. But I want you to keep that perpetual motion coming. Just try to think a little bit, come back, try to draw him into some punches.
Grab my head. Grab my head. Grab my head.
Rub it.
Grab me.
Oh. Okay.
Diego Corrales, his left hand, you'll see it right here, would be a good countering shot as the left hand of Freitas came in, and then Corrales got him with a good left hand. And for Acelino Freitas, a good straight right hand up the middle. That's been the story of this fight, really, for Freitas.
It is round 4. We were talking to Joel Casamayor, who fought both these guys. He told us he felt Corrales would go down in this fight, but would get off the canvas to win, using his smarts against the Brazilian Acelino Freitas. We shall see.
A little low. Keep him up. Let's go.
Both fighters recently showing that they are not one-dimensional. Of course, they rely heavily on their power, but they've also shown that they have good technical skills in their last few fights.
Freitas is convinced that Corrales is more one-dimensional than him, and I think he believes he has the edge in hand speed. Now, we saw Corrales against Casamayor box well with using the jab. He's not been able to land the jab, and in this sequence, we see why. Freitas has given him so much good lateral movement that Corrales just can't get that jab in to slow him down.
Corrales digging to the midsection as he was holding him with the left hand. Freitas picking his shots. Missing wildly with those attempts.
Diego Corrales must make Freitas pay when he does all that wild missing, and he is not. He didn't even look to counter Freitas.
Watch your head inside. Suéltalo.
Look at Freitas on the ropes making Corrales miss. So far, the headline of this fight is the defense and elusiveness of Acelino Freitas.
That left hand was blocked by the glove of Corrales. Oh, that was Corrales who got burned. It looked like Corrales was on the march, but a beautiful countering shot by Freitas.
We talked before the fight about the counter right hands of Acelino Freitas. That was a beauty about 15 seconds ago, and I'll tell you what, that landed flush in the head of Corrales.
Corkscrewed his head.
corpo dele, entendeu? Se você começa na cara,
You need to stop. You need to stop running.
Começamos no corpo, terminando em cima. Nós não vamos buscar somente a cabeça dele, ok?
Stop looking for him to punch his head. You need to stop hitting higher. Okay, breathe. Are you okay? Are you okay? Stop go head hunting. You need to hit the body. Cross to the body. Stop head hunting.
I know. I'm going to tell the ref. I'm going to tell the ref right now. I'm going to tell the ref right now. Okay. Hey,
Mike, you gotta ring that bell loud because there's a bell back there. I can't hear. He's bending down low.
Well, that's legal, though.
Acelino Freitas expending a lot of energy through the first 4 rounds. We'll see what happens from this point on. They seem very concerned in his corner about his win. And a body shot with the left hand by Acelino Freitas, who continues to move around a lot. Joe Goosen concerned that Freitas was pulling Corrales' head down. And then Michael Ortega, the referee, spinning back to Goosen. Well, Corrales is bending down too low. Goosen said, well, that's legal.
You know, this is a very frenetic but effective performance by Acelino Freitas, but it does lead one to say that will this adrenaline wear off? Will he slow down? And will he be a target for Corrales, who just threw a low left hand? But not a bad idea for Corrales to get downstairs to the body, which he has not done very effectively so far in this bout.
The press room scores. Greg Leon from BoxingTalk.com, Franklin McNeil, Newark Star Ledger, Terry Price, Hartford Current. They've all got Freitas ahead.
I have it 39-37 for Freitas, so I'm pretty much in the mix with what they have.
Right hand off the top of the head by Corrales. That stunned Freitas momentarily. Corrales showing some signs all of a sudden here. But the movement continues by Freitas, who eludes those tries by Corrales.
You know, it's interesting. Freitas told us you'll see in the nice hook on the inside by Corrales. That was a superb punch.
Time.
A mouthpiece comes flying out of Freitas' mouth.
Bad break for Corrales because he had him hurt. That's what sent the mouthpiece out.
They take the time to clean it off during a rule.
Let's go.
That's the
Time in.
rule, and now Michael Ortega brings him back in.
Freitas told us you'll see my strategy in the first minute of the first round, but actually it's been just the opposite. The first minute of the first round, he was very aggressive, and Joe Goosen thought was right. Then he decided to be a complete boxer. So a very different strategy since that first minute.
Freitas missing wildly again, and Corrales not jumping on the opportunity.
Corrales is starting, though, to find the range with that left hook. You see how he's countering with the left when Freitas throws the right hand. And he landed a very good one early in this round. But he's still being outworked by Freitas.
But a stalking Chico Corrales continues to move forward. Measuring Popo out. But Freitas just so fast with the hands. And Acelino just continues to bounce around. Nice right hand just before the bell by Freitas to the jaw.
Every so often, use that little lead right hand, and then when you get close, surprise him. But if you're going to use that lead right hand, drop that chin good.
Got it, Johnny.
Okay? The right hand's starting to catch up with him a little bit. And your counter left hook. Okay, when he starts going to the body, that left hook's catching him. He'll sometimes throw it up. You know, you knocked his mouthpiece out with that left uppercut.
Feel like you go 15, baby? Oh, all right, let's do 15 then. You got
Again.
Well, this is what Joe Goosen was describing to Diego Corrales, this left half hook, half uppercut that would knock the mouthpiece of Freitas out as they were working on the inside. There it was, a good short left hook. And the mouthpiece flew right out, and it was a good break for Freitas that the referee stopped the action so quickly, because because Corrales was on the attack.
Yeah, that's the keep that touch on.
There are welts on the neck of Chico Corrales. I see it on the right side from a headlock by Acelino Freitas. Something Joe Goosen was complaining about earlier.
Nice little uppercut by Freitas, and then the jab of Corrales. Corrales will really, when he looks back at the tapes of this fight, will be very distressed that over the first half of this fight he couldn't get the jab in better.
Well, countering shot there by Acelino Freitas.
Corrales, upon the advice of Joe Goosen, really going back to that left hook. And I tell you, if I was Corrales, I would be throwing that punch as much as possible.
There's somewhat of a surprise, Al. We're in the 6th round. No knockdowns yet.
Yeah, but a very active and spirited fight.
No question about that. It has been entertaining.
Double left hook downstairs by Corrales, and that's something I suspect they would have wanted him to start earlier in this fight, but it's still a very effective idea.
Freitas continues to hammer away with combinations. And then he instantly gets out of range. Both combatants missing there.
In an unofficial poll of 75 fighters and media people and promoters and all the rest, 45 picked Corrales to win and 30 picked Freitas. So it's interesting. A split, though, more people going for Corrales.
Nice right hand by Freitas.
What they're watching here tonight may be changing their mind.
And better than 3,000 fans here in the arena want Freitas. Most of them do.
Don't grab him behind the head. Don't grab him.
By referee Michael Ortega. Freitas grabbing once again behind Corrales' head.
Well, it's no secret Diego Corrales has issues with boxers who have good lateral movement. And in this fight, it's been all about lateral movement for Acelino Freitas, and that has been the one thing that has bedeviled Corrales.
Here's Chico Corrales opening up.
Keep those punches up. Let's go.
A low blow by Corrales being warned by referee Ortega. There's a nice right hand, an unorthodox right. One of those look-away shots by Acelino Freitas.
It's about hand speed right now, Steve. He's quicker than Corrales with his hands.
But back comes Chico Corrales looking to corner Freitas. 15 seconds left in round 6.
Keep that mic off.
The focus in the eyes of Chico Corrales. Another right hand by Freitas bouncing off the noggin of Corrales.
Time. Okay.
In the keys to victory, we said that the right hand would be a very important punch for Acelino Freitas if he was to do well. Well, it has been. He has landed a series of right hands throughout this fight. Some have been lead right, some have come after a jab like that one. Some have been straight, some have been wide, but for Freitas, that right hand has landed. Look at that counter right hand. And give Corrales credit. He has sustained through those punches because some of those are hard enough, I think, to have created a knockdown.
Ok, a la velocidad y consciente de todo, limitando el cruzado. Hay que limitar ese cruzado para que pueda. Ahora, si lo limitamos, regresamos para el directo
when you don't throw all cross hands, you need to start throwing all the hands. You need to try to surprise him.
Well, there you have it. Our translator, Anibal Miramontes, helping us along with the Portuguese. It's been a steady diet of right hands by Acelino Freitas. Why not surprise him with the left? Were the instructions in Popo's corner. Let's see what happens. Look at this combination. Left, right, upstairs. Both of them connected by the Brazilian. Freitas with the great hand speed, the great right hand. Chico Corrales with the terrific chin.
You know, Acelino Freitas, and you've done so many of his punches or his fights early on, really considered a power puncher, not considered a very good boxer. boxer, not considered the boxer-puncher type, but he has really reinvented himself. And now he is very much the boxer-puncher, but Steve still has the power that he had before.
He has really become the complete fighter. Not one-dimensional whatsoever as Corrales goes on the attack. But a quick escape by Acelino Freitas. There's the press row story. It is close, except for Franklin McNeil of the Newark Star-Ledger, who has Freitas up by 6 points.
Well, I have Freitas at 59-55, so I'm a little more in his category. Certainly Corrales has landed some big power punches, though, and that may have an impact. Some of his punches have been very strong, and I just think more punches have been landed by Freitas.
Freitas complaining to referee Michael Ortega about possible low blows. Ortega, the son of a fighter named Gaspar Indian Ortega, who had 176 fights. Only knocked out twice. Once in his lone world title fight to Emil Griffin. We approach the final minute, round 7.
Corrales has been a little bit more effective in pushing Freitas back, but still has been countered a lot. And again, we point out here in round 7, all the energy expended by Freitas, we have to keep a very close eye on him to see if he could sustain this pace.
Stay off his neck, all right?
You heard the warning by referee Ortega to Freitas, stay off the neck of Chico. Look at the quickness and speed of Acelino Freitas. And then a countering right hand up top by Corrales.
You know, Corrales believes that one punch can change this fight for him, and he better believe it now, because he's going to need that.
A series of punches by Freitas. Freitas pouring it on at the end of round 7. Back comes a left hook by Corrales, but that sequence dominated by Acelino Freitas.
But I'm not sure that left hook didn't stun Freitas momentarily.
They're ringing the bell, and there are a few seconds left. I heard the bell. Now they get it. Michael Ortega couldn't hear the bell.
Listen.
Lembra, Popó, que você vai puxar com ele, imediatamente você gira para a costa dele e empurra ele para a corda. Não fica você na corda.
You need to stop one from the same size.
Ok? Não fique na corda nem tanto.
I want you to fucking get it together and do exactly what you were doing. You're starting to catch him with that right uppercut. You stop using the jab at the end. You caught him with the right hand. So here we go again. I want that right uppercut, left uppercut, working on him.
Toward the
He's
end of
different.
that round,
Starting
great
to stand up.
exchange between these two boxers. The left hook and the straight right by Freitas, in fact, a 3-punch combination. Corrales wanted this kind of action and encouraged it with Freitas, kind of urging him to come in, but there's the left hook toward the end of the round that I think kind of momentarily pushed Freitas back. But you can see that was this fighter microcosm. More punches being landed by Freitas.
It is round 8, scheduled for 12 for the WBO lightweight title. Things really getting interesting now. Freitas still bouncing around.
You know, both these men are undefeated, 3-0 when they get to a 12-round decision. So it is conceivable someone's record will change in that regard if we don't see a draw.
Fans of Corrales chanting Chico being drowned out by the Coco fans. They're trying to urge Corrales on here in the 8th.
Freitas landed a right hand a moment ago, then moved away, reset. He's looking to reload every time and then find a different spot. And once Corrales is ready to punch, he's not there. There's an example of it.
Freitas moving side to side, moving back, moving forward. Coming in from different angles, trying to confuse Chico Corrales. It has been exquisite strategy of late. that has worked for Freitas, but there's a countering left hook by Corrales out of nowhere.
From the right hand to the body by Freitas, over it came the left hook of Corrales.
Well, that had to give Corrales a lot of confidence.
And now, for the first time, Freitas holding on in this fight.
You wonder if he is starting to get tired. All the running around.
Getting caught against the ropes is Freitas.
Freitas in trouble, down he goes.
Cinco, seis, siete, ocho. Ven aquí, ven aquí.
Acelino Freitas down for the sixth time in his career. He got up quickly.
Come here.
And they're distressed in the corner of Corrales. And Corrales is distressed because it took the referee so long to get the mouthpiece. This gives Freitas an extra break. And they are just beside themselves in the Corrales group.
Joe
Mira,
Goodson is
si lo
irate.
suelta otra vez, voy a quitar un punto.
Corrales'
Back.
trainer is livid. We continue now. Final seconds of round 8. Here you see it now, 25 seconds. Acelino Freitas running.
He was down twice against Barrios. Got up to win by knockout. So you can't count Acelino Freitas out no matter who hits him. And look, he's regaining that boxing ability right now.
So quite a recovery by Freitas after being knocked down here in the 8th round. Huge round for Corrales.
Joe, I gotta replace the mouthpiece. I told him I gotta replace it. I got.
Okay, don't worry. We're doing okay. We're selecting punch. We're doing okay. Don't worry about the punch. Listen to me. Remember, he is the champion.
Well, here's where the evening changed for Diego Corrales for the better. Freitas had been hurt earlier by a left hook to the head, and here is where that left and a right hand by Corrales sent Freitas down. Freitas' lack of movement created that. He got a little tired. He's languished on the ropes, and he was nailed with these punches. Corrales still missing, but that right hand got there, and boy, Freitas is lucky the last right hand didn't land when he was falling.
Well, there is knockdown number 1. And Acelino Freitas trying to come back with a huge overhand right.
And he took the left hook for his trouble. The wider Freitas' punches get, the more he thinks he has to be a puncher. And they suggested to him, you're not, you're the champion in that corner, meaning that Corrales has to come to him. And by the way, this might be a good time to remind people, Corrales gave up his junior lightweight title to fight for this title. So he's a man without a country should he lose this fight.
So a big gamble by Chico Corrales, but he's got to be feeling a lot better about things after that last round. Corrales' punches are landing with more regularity now as Freitas looks vulnerable all of a sudden.
And while we're still seeing movement from Freitas, we're not seeing as many punches come back from him. Corrales has to be very careful. He can't be lulled into thinking just because he knocked him down once that he can't be busy in these rounds. He needs to be.
And remember, Diego Corrales has been down 8 times in his career. 5 versus Floyd Mayweather Jr., 3 times in 2 fights with Joe Cosmayor. Corrales losing the first, winning the rematch. It's tightening up along Fresh Road. Terry Price of the Hartford card now has it all even.
And that's exactly the way I have it. I have an even fight right now. But you can make the case for Freitas maybe being a point or two ahead still.
Corrales coming back, using that jab, following it up with a nice right.
This is a much more effective Diego Corrales. The jab's helping him. He's going to the body a little bit more, and less offense coming from Acelino Freitas than we saw earlier.
So the first half of the fight, Acelino Freitas in charge, and now Diego Corrales with the momentum.
so effectively against Casamayor. Very effective now. And that right hand that missed over the head of Corrales by Freitas, a very telling point. That was thrown very wide, kind of lazily, not like we've seen him throw the right hands earlier.
Corrales did say his jab and his hooks would be keys.
You have to love matches like this with all these ebbs and flows. There are so many different plot changes here.
A lot of drama. Very competitive, entertaining affair here. Right hand down goes Freitas again.
5, 6, 7, 2008. Ven aquí. Okay. Now, time. 1 point. Mouthpiece. 1 point. Mouthpiece. 1 point. Mouthpiece.
Works for Freitas. Michael Ortega deducting a point for excessive loss of the mouthpiece.
Hey, he can't be doing this. He's going to get disqualified. Put it in. Put it in. Time in. Bucks. Bucks.
It's a call we don't see very often, but it could come back to haunt Freitas.
Great job by referee Michael Ortega. That was appropriate.
Remember what I told you about the straight right hand? No, you stay there for that right hand. Come on, you're smarter than him. I told you about that. Come, breathe a lot, a lot.
This right hand from Diego Corrales ended up making this a 10-7 round. And the reason for that is because not only did it create a knockdown as it landed right on the point of the chin, but because the mouthpiece went out, referee Ortega took an extra point away from Acelino Freitas. Freitas throwing the right to the body and getting countered. This match is all about people countering with big shots. 2 of them from Corrales have created knockdowns.
That was a resounding right hand by Chico Corrales. A 10-7 round is out, pointed out in favor of Corrales, who has been coming back with a vengeance. We're into round 10, scheduled for 12. It has turned out to be an outstanding fight. Now, Coco being extra cautious. He's been down 2 times. 7 times in his career. Again, fighting off the ropes, which is dangerous.
He is languishing on the ropes with his hands down, and if he continues to do that, he'll get it with a big left hook or another one of those right hands. Good combo, though, by Freitas.
Freitas coming back there. Doesn't seem to phase. The rock jaw, Chico Corrales missing there with a right, looking to end it on 1 punch. Beautiful combination. Quick hands by Corrales upstairs. Now he's coming through with the jab.
You can make the call.
Coming left hand to the nose by Freitas.
And Corrales with a good combination as well.
Oh, Freitas is down for the 3rd time.
4, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008.
And he's got a minute 35.
No more.
He doesn't want to fight anymore. He's done. It's over, and Corrales wins it. Diego Corrales wins it in the table. As Paulo Freitas says, no bus, no bus. After he goes down for the 3rd time of the fight. Diego Chico Corrales at 124, round 10 unofficially is the new WBO lightweight champion of the world.
He persevered through the early, brilliant boxing display of Acelino Freitas. Didn't lose his concentration or his poise. A couple of good combinations. And then as Freitas retreated to the ropes, he will get nailed with this right hand. That one actually on the back of the ear, I think it hurt his equilibrium, but he'd already been hurt, really, just previous to that in a big exchange. And that right hand knocked him down. And you see Freitas already showing signs that he doesn't want to continue. And now thinks about it and says, no, I can't go on. That a little bit surprising for a fighter who has been a warrior, though, you know, it's hard to second guess someone that took big punishment with 3 knockdowns. We looked from the top, and here was where that right hand, and actually that was a superb right hand that landed on the ear area of Freitas. And after this 3rd knockdown, you can see he's thinking about whether this should continue at all. And so those early brilliant rounds go for naught for Acelino Freitas, because the power of Corrales ultimately wins the day.
Freitas waving it off. From our man, ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr.
No, I told you when you came on, we'd get all of them. That's what I told you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 1 minute, 24 seconds in round number 10. A referee in charge, Michael Ortega, acknowledges the fighter and his request, and a referee stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout and new WBO lightweight champion of the world, Diego Chico Corrales.
So a defining moment in the career of Diego Chico Corrales. A shock to Popo Freitas' fans as Freitas leaves the ring. Freitas quitting in round 10, deciding he didn't want to take any more punishment from Diego Chico Corrales after being put to the canvas on 3 occasions. Let's get it up to Jim Gray. Jim.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. As we see Popo Freitas leaving the ring, Diego, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Your assessment tonight, it seemed as though you were having trouble with Freitas early with his lateral movement and all of his activity. What turned this fight around?
Actually, it was just taking my time, biding my time. We had our game plan. We knew the early rounds, keep the pace, keep things strong. My pace has been strong. We've worked hard. So we knew keep the pressure on, keep the pace, work behind the jab, work behind the head movement, and pound the body. So that's all we did. We took our time, and by the time we had 12 rounds, 45 minutes worth of fighting to do. So that's a lot of time to run.
So you did figure that he was going to tire out with all that movement?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't keep that kind of pace up. I was coming really hard, and I'm pounding to the body as much as possible, and you're missing shots, too. So we were prepared for that kind of fight.
And then you connected with him in the 8th round with your first of the 3 knockdowns. Tell us about what happened there in the 8th round, and it seemed as though he got more than 30 seconds because he spit out his mouthpiece the first of 2 times.
Yeah, you know, it just keeping my eye on the prize. Like, I kept my eye in there, kept everything nice and calm and composed. I kept my defense real tight, and I was catching shots down the middle, down the pipe. I knew, you know, in the later rounds was where it was going to happen at. We worked on the straight shots down the pipe, keeping our hands tight, and that's exactly what played out. In all 3 knockdowns, it was nothing but simple fundamentals, hands high, shots down the pipe.
Were you surprised that he quit? No mas?
Here's the history repeating itself. You know, I was shocked, yeah.
Let me ask you, your corner was very upset, Joe Goosen and your gang over there, as were you, when he spit out the mouthpiece the 2nd time. He got a point penalty, but did you think it should have been more severe for the actions that had happened?
No, because, I mean, I want the ability to take care of my own job. I want to go in and do my job. Do I feel he should have been penalized? Yes, he was penalized. I'm happy with that. The referee did a great job of maintaining things. I leave it in the referee's hands every time. You know, if a foul comes up, it's the referee's job to take care of it. The referee did a great job. You can't say anything about it.
What do you want to do now? You've moved up in weight class. What are your plans now to do with this title?
You know, you've got a lot of great champions out there. I'd love to see them all. Like I said, I'm here to clean up this division. I really want to prove that I am the best in this division. It all comes down to proving it, and I'm going to put mine on the line. I want to know if everybody else wants to too.
Final thought, Diego. When you lost to Mayweather back January 20th, 2001, you took 2 years off. Did you ever feel you would be back in this position?
I had faith, and I had a great wife that when I did start to lose a little faith, she kind of reinforced it for me, helped me remember what I am and what I can do.
Diego, tremendous performance tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks.
All right. Back to you, Steve Albert.
All right, Jim, thank you so much as we hear from the victorious Diego Chico Corrales, who clearly was not the fans' choice, the people's choice here at Foxwoods. Let's take a look and listen to the end of the fight when Acelino Freitas said, no mas.
2007, 2008,
the last time we saw and heard that, of course, was a fellow named Roberto Duran, which became kind of legendary, and now we see it tonight in what turns out to be a terrific fight. Some might call it a classic fight between Acelino Freitas and Diego Corrales. 3 knockdowns in the fight for Chico Corrales after it looked like Acelino Freitas had the momentum in the early going.
Corrales, when he was able to get Freitas against the ropes, as he did here, landing a terrific right hand that would send Freitas down. This was the knockdown in which he spit the mouthpiece out the first time. It would not get a penalty, but it would be something that would be repeated and cost him. It got him a little extra time, however, and that may have been part of the reason why he was able to sustain and continue in this fight. In round 9, again, Freitas not showing quite as much movement. His hands are low, throws a right to the body and gets hit with a counter right by Diego Corrales. Almost every big punch that was landed by either fighter in this fight, it was off a counter move. Freitas had spit the mouthpiece out and would have a point deducted by the referee for doing so, thus making it a 10-7 round, though ultimately it would be academic because Corrales, who had already hurt Freitas to this point, would land a right hand on the top of the head, and this created the situation in which Freitas got up, beat the count, but simply could not continue.